I wish I had the willpower to be vegan, but I'm somebody who has to have meat diet, unfortunately. So, but it does create a little bit of a conflict of interest, and I definitely hear your stance and respect it. And I think everybody has to make their own individual decision,
Um, I don't need you to respect me. I'm out here to try and get people to respect the animal.
Right.
Okay. Would you like to take?
Yeah, I'll talk.
Okay, we're on YouTube. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so
Right
make
here?
sure you're in. Yeah. So, do you think the powerful should be able to oppress the weak?
No, I do not. I feel like every citizen, it's whether they were born here or came here from another country, there's not, unless you're a Native American, there's not one of us that are originally from here.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we all have the right to pursue our freedoms, enjoy a happy, healthy lifestyle, and we should all really be looking out for one another.
Okay. Yeah, I feel very similar. What if you looked a lot different? Like you maybe had like a lot of hair all over your body, or you spoke a different language with your family.
I feel like one of the biggest powers of America is the diversity that we have here. Just take a look around this market. I can walk 3 feet, I can have something that's Indian, I can walk another 3 feet, have something that's Mexican, Italian. It's a melting pot. That's probably one of our biggest strengths, and I feel like it should be celebrated, not admonished. Just my humble 2 cents on it. I've also been to all 50 states. Each state has a different experience with the different cultures that are there. So I'm all for the diversity that this country has to offer.
Okay. So, we're on the same page as that. What about when you think about animals that we oppress by forcing them into slaughterhouses?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really for any oppression of any being or creature that's on this earth. I'm a little weird in that I don't admonish people to own pets, but I myself don't own pets because I feel like they should be in the wild. I know that's probably not a common theme that a lot of people have, but I owned a dog with my family, and I'd come home and nobody took the dog out, nobody fed the dog, and I was working. So I'm just like, well, why is no one taking care of this animal? So, I think we treat people how we are, and animals how we would like to be treated, humanely, basically.
Yeah, and that's interesting because, I'm out here talking about veganism. I'm just going to kind of tell you right now.
True.
And that view on domestic animals, our companion animals, actually aligns with what vegans feel a lot, that we're here to be guardians or rescuers of animals. If they're homeless, shelter animals, take care of them, but try and give them as much of their own freedom that they can have safely.
Yep.
What about the animals that are used for consumption, like the ones in the slaughterhouses that we actually do kind of like, we take away their freedoms by putting them there.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's something that is definitely very controversial, I think, and I would have to say I am a meat eater. I'm not a vegan person, but I think it's something that animals should be treated humanely. My sister's vegan, so I completely support her stance and view. That is a personal decision for a lot of people. I think a lot of us have control over what we do at the store. When you're buying things like free-range chickens versus animals that aren't slaughtered in a humane way. And I wish I had the willpower to be vegan, but I'm somebody who has to have meat diet, unfortunately. So, but it does create a little bit of a conflict of interest, and I definitely hear your stance and respect it. And I think everybody has to make their own individual decision,
I don't need you to respect me. I'm out here to try and get people to respect the animals.
Right.
So what stops you from going vegan?
I have like a very temperamental blood sugar, so if I don't balance that out with protein, and I've tried some of the plant-based meats, and I get very, for lack of a better word, irritable when I don't have animal protein in my diet, so it's not like I haven't made attempts to try that, but I just haven't had a lot of success doing it.
Have you ever worked with like a nutritionist or anybody?
I'm in the healthcare industry, so I've talked to a lot of different people about trying to do it, and I did that to try to respect my sister's wishes too, and at least have given it a try. But unfortunately, I get like shakes. It's kind of a not pleasant feeling for me. And I have to say it feels kind of guilty because, like you said, I know that you can't really have a checks and balance on anybody who's processing meat. You don't know what's going on; it just kind of shows up on your plate. But like I said, the biggest impact I can have is when I'm in a store, just purchasing items that label saying animals at least handled in as humanely as a possible manner that possibly can be. So
that's so there's actually, and your sister may have told you this, but that's something called humane washing, and the animals are still going through the same process. They're still going to the slaughterhouses.
Right.
Even when it says grass-fed or organic free range is actually a horrible, crowded, horrendous situation for the chickens or the cows, pigs. So being in the healthcare industry myself, I know that sometimes I have a slanted view, and I know that I can't treat myself, that I need to look outside the box.
Right.
I'm going to give you a card.
Yeah, sure.
I know that your sister's vegan, and so she's got resources and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
But this has some different resources on there, and it does have some nutritionists that are free mentors that can help people on a path to veganism. And I'm wondering if now I'm not trying to upset you.
No,
okay?
you're not. No.
But I'm wondering if your meat consumption, the feelings that you get, are more psychologically
like programmed.
Like if you're not eating meat, then there is like some sort of psychological thing saying that you're not getting because people can have physiological symptoms when something is psychologically bothering them.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
But I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor.
It's always worth another shot at it, So, but I appreciate your efforts and what you're doing. I think, we're all put here on Earth, and the best we can treat every living creature with dignity and respect is a good thing.
Well, and you come across as somebody who's like conscientious, and your view on companion animals kind of like not many people have that view.
Yeah,
that
I'm definitely
vegan.
in the minority.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I always look at it like I can walk over to the fridge any time of the day and I can get a drink of water. Where my pet's looking at me like, "Did you fill my water bowl?" And I'm like, that something just doesn't sit very right with me. Now, that being said, I love dogs. Like, I'll walk up, pet dogs and things like that. And, But, I mean, it's definitely an interesting conflict, I'll say that, and not one that you look lightly at, rather, and that, you can re-examine, always give things another try. I mean, I think that's just being diplomatic in life and giving things a chance, So, but I mean, but I would not be honest with you if I wouldn't say yes that I'm not a meat consumer, because I am, but like I said, I am conscientious as well. So.
Well, I appreciate you having a civil conversation with me. Some people get very defensive, and you're like, "This is me, honestly, and this is what's going on," and I totally appreciate that, because we have to have open minds about things, and it sounds like you're very concerned about the welfare of animals.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So just I don't know if you've ever seen Dominion. Have you ever seen that movie?
I don't believe I have. No.
So that is on the card. If you scan the code, there's a couple movies on there, and it does show what is standard practice for the animals, whether it says grass-fed or free range. That is what's happening, because there's very few farms that can actually do their own slaughtering.
Right.
So even if they're raised like, oh, this is a small farm, they're still going to the same slaughterhouse. And so it's like, if we wouldn't send our cat or dog into a place like that,
you wouldn't want to send a cow or a pig either.
It's horrifying. So but I appreciate your open-mindedness. Really.
Absolutely, and I appreciate your mission, and hopefully people like me can find a way,
I hope so. What's your name, sir?
Francis Powers.
Francis, nice to meet you. I'm Rebecca.
Nice to meet you, Rebecca. Have a great day.
You
Thank
too.
You.
Go vegan.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good conversation. I'm pretty happy about how that went.